Hello.
Yeah, but that's so you can talk.
And Denise is here. Welcome.
You want it on mute.
Oh, look who's here.
Yeah.
Hey, Marianne. And Miss Peggy. Beautiful Peggy.
All right, hold on here. Let me get under control.
Okay.
Jeannie and Mike. Oh, my gosh. Pamela, Ruth Ellen. Sweet.
We've got Bobby Knight.
Bobby Knight.
Glad to have you, Bobby.
So
And Linda.
usually you...
Welcome, welcome, Linda. And Jerry, Ethan, and Kate Carpenter.
Mineral Marge.
Hi.
Awesome.
Co-host me up there, sweetheart.
Alrighty.
And write your name.
Name of the coast home.
Hold on. Everybody's saying something.
Coast Ho, yeah.
All
I
right.
know. Poor Marianne.
Oh, we're getting the echo.
Oh, James.
Let's get some.
Echo, echo, echo. Nope.
Are you co-hosted there, Pamela?
I am co-hosted, and your name is right, but you've got a really bad echo,
Okay.
even with James muted.
How's it, James?
He's muted.
I have my speakers on, tell that.
He had his speakers on.
Oh. There we go. That's better.
Oh. And look at, there's Tom.
Tommy,
Same
Tom is here.
All right.
There he is.
Hey, kids.
All right,
How are you?
I'm doing great. Close that door. Marianne, please.
James, did you get your name? All right.
Yeah, I mean,
Hello, everybody. I do hope you're having just a delightful day. Can I have a cup of coffee, James, and some water when you get a chance?
Yep. Hang on, Tom, 1 second.
Beautiful day it is. I'm going to get closer in the eyes. So let's see who, Peggy Gleason, I just saw you did a Facebook Live. That's pretty exciting. You've got me coming to North Carolina this weekend. Why don't you talk about that a little bit? Tell me what's going on with that and where is it? When is it? What's going on? So what's happening there, baby cakes?
Oh, God, I can't wait. I can't wait. It's in Raleigh. It's at the Hampton Inn next to the Crabtree Valley Mall. So everybody that knows Raleigh will know where that is. And the doors open at 9:30, and I can't wait. I'm so excited. But I can't take all the credit because Betty Richardson was spearheading we're all co-hosts. And Betty Richardson, I want to do a shout out to her because she's the one that did the arrangements and everything. So we're really happy to co-host together. And Denise Grant.
Okay, good. That's exciting news. And are everybody playing nice together and you're all getting along, or is it some big old cat fight among women, or what?
It's quiet.
Oh, that's good news. That makes me happy. Are there any other events going on this weekend? Is that Boss Babes deal this weekend or anything like that? Or is this pretty much the only one that's a big deal this weekend? Does anybody know?
Boss Babes is April 13th.
Okay, good. Are you going to that?
No.
Okay, good. And let's see what else I want to know. There's Denise Chenault. Let's say hi to that little breath of fresh air. How are you, Denise?
Fine, Tom. How are you?
Never mind. What are you wearing?
My hair looks like yours.
I know. But what do you have on? Like a sports something or what?
Yeah, it's 70 degrees. Man, when it's over 50 in Colorado, you break out the short sleeves.
How hot
I
is
got my flip-flops on.
Yeah, see?
Is it 53 out?
It's 71, it said.
Oh, but how old are you now? Oh, that's just a funny joke. Denise just turned 53, everybody. That's pretty exciting. Okay, Mineral Marge. Hello, Esther Irie, you little angel, you little contact mapper.
I just see a whole bunch of women on here. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's Women's Day. Patrick Farley's a woman.
Vincent's on there.
Woman.
Vincent's on there. Okay, I got to scan through. Sorry.
Patrick.
All right. So, all right. Network marketing. I want to talk about that because you guys, network marketing is what you guys do. And I want to tell you why Youngevity is 10 times better than the other companies. And if you've been on the Hair on Fire call, I've talked about it a little bit, and it's so critically important. The comp plan that we've got is two-headed. Number one, it is a coding bonus. And lots of companies have only coding bonuses. Steve Schultz, I know you guys all remember Steve Schultz. He talked about being the $17 million man, and he made $17 million just off of coding. And that's a lot of money. And all of you guys can make a living off of coding in Youngevity. On the back end of the Youngevity comp plan is the unilevel. The unilevel pays 8 levels deep. And that isn't a very, very important, and then it pays infinity after that. But the point I make to you is the Youngevity comp plan is both of those comp plans you could make a living at. And a lot of people are doing that. A lot of people are just doing coding and they don't have a lot of residual income business. And a lot of people are just doing the residual income business and they're not doing anything else. And then there's the internet marketers, and I'm not going to say scammers, but those are the ones that are just grabbing the orders off of the internet. They're stripping the enroller bonus, taking that 30%, and then they just have all these people in their downline and they never call. And you would say, why would you do that? It's because you're an internet marketer. They never talk to another human being. And that's what they do. And they are the ones grabbing all of your low-hanging fruit. When you go tell somebody to do Youngevity and you spell Youngevity, Yongevity, somebody's got that website out there. And even though you forgot the U and you told your friend to put the U in, they go sign up on that website, or they sign up on Young Official, they sign up on something. Then whoever that is, they grab that order and they never get called. Okay, the fastest way to make a ton of money forever in Youngevity is to not do that. When you've got customers, treat them like customers. So my whole supposition, my whole premise, I don't care if you're social sellers or whatever, as long as you're treating your people and your customers with respect. And that means that you pay attention to them. And I don't care how you bring them in. It's your business. The ambassadors, if you go to the ambassador page, the ambassador Youngevity ambassador presentation page, you will see that Louis Ariaza and all those guys, Louis, Corey, Scott, Juliet, Denise, Cheryl, Avelia, are all using the same system and presentation to create a culture called starting people with a CEO pack, getting them into the company behind the wall, having those people sign up for auto ship, and create that retention. The attention to retention is the most important thing. Denise used to have a mentor. Denise, talk about your mentor for a second while I take a drink of coffee and try to get this, what's that called, a keto bar, out of this goopy false teeth that your quack dentist made me get. So I got a little keto bar in it and it's bugging me, so I can hardly talk because I'm afraid my tooth's gonna fly out. So talk about your mentor and how great he was that taught you the fundamentals of network marketing. And he was the one that said, you know, they had a fast start at that company and you'd make a couple $100 off that fast start. And he said, I don't care about that fast start. If you get me an entire organization of people on auto ship, you can have that fast start all day long, because that's where the great wealth is built. I want you people to start thinking retention is the key. And I want you to come in with CEO packs, but I want you to think retention. And how do you do that? You go explain to people that auto ship at Youngevity is free and they can change it the day before. That's how you do that. So go ahead and take it away, Denise, while I figure out what's going on.
I was like, I thought you did my part for me.
I think he just said the whole thing, right?
He did. I was like, well, I guess about 15 years ago, maybe, something like that, 12 years ago, I had a mentor, Doug Ridley, who lived in Arizona but worked in Denver Monday through Thursday, and he was an attorney by trade. However, he never practiced law. he and his wife, Heather, they got enrolled in Amway in their early 20s, and he actually never had a formal job. And so he was, if you read Bob Crisp's books, Raising a Giant and Feeding a Giant, in the new copies of Bob's books, he talks about Doug Ridley. And, both, they were all underneath Dexter Yeager, and they talked about how Dexter would have meetings at 11 o'clock at night or 2 o'clock in the morning, and he'd say, but he wouldn't say where they were, and you'd have to find the meeting, like crazy stuff. But it was really great because, it was during a time that I knew I loved network marketing, and I didn't even know what a system was. And so after reading Bob's books, I thought, okay, there is a method to the madness. And, one of the things that Bob illustrates in his book so well is the event structure of network marketing, and also tap rooting and recognition. He really goes into a few things really, really, really well. And I thought, okay, now I get it. The event structure really resonated with me, and it totally made sense that you would have a one-on-one that would lead to inviting them to a weekly meeting. The weekly meeting would transition to a monthly Super Saturday training where people would get trained up on how to do the business. And then that would all funnel into a quarterly regional with a annual company convention. And the point was that every time somebody would go from a Super Saturday to a quarterly training, oh God, don't do it, Tom. That is so horrifying. He totally scared the grandkids the other day. He was like, oh, this is going to be funny. And he goes, here, run the video. And so he walks in, and they don't even look. They were watching a movie. And he walks in, and they don't look up. And finally he stands right in front of the TV. And they shrieked so loudly. And one of them was horrified. The other one was so scared she started crying. And I was like, I don't think you can use this tape, Tom. So that's just disgusting. But anyway, the event structure is the whole point is not only about training, but it's also about recognition. And you don't want to show up at the regionals every single time at the same rank that you were the time before. And so it encourages you to strive a little bit more to get to the next rank. And then in addition, every time you go up in rank, you're also getting the microphone just a little bit longer. And so you're building leadership from that standpoint as well. And you're learning how to speak on stage. The first time somebody holds the microphone for you and you get to say your name and your rank and where you're from. And, that's at the, senior associate level. And then the next rank at SMD, at 1 star, then you get to talk a little bit more about, why you got into longevity and how your life looks like now, so it builds that leadership as you go up in rank. And so it was awesome. Doug was really great because it was at a time when, the kids were a little bit older. I was ready to take on more of a leadership role. And, one of the biggest things, because Tom is so big, I had been okay with him doing a lot of the work and showing up more. And what Doug really, really coached me on was really showing up and speaking more and doing more. And, we bring in a lot of couples because, you know, we're a couple and we do the business together. And so we end up enrolling a lot of couples. But anyway, it was a really great experience. And he's not in Denver
You became a
anymore.
network marketer and you learned the words, you learned the skills, you learned how to play the game. And the reason I said that was because we just did a radio show with a guy and he said, I don't care if you hit the ball. You just got to swing the bat. And every one of you aren't swinging the bat. You've got to get out there and swing that bat. And that's why 65 days in a wake up is so doggone important to you. That's why contact mapping and the coffee shop interview is so important. Esther Irie is a perfect example, man. She's got 61 days right now. She's got 120 people in her business. She's got 120 interviews sitting there. And that woman is about ready to break out and break through. And all of a sudden you start learning the words, you start learning how to do this, and it becomes a part of your DNA. My interview skills are a part of my DNA. This meeting tonight we've got Dr. Wallach coming in. Some lady calls me and says on Facebook, she said, can I come to the meeting? I go, come on down. She said, so I interview her this morning on my way to my AA meeting. She goes, it's going to be good to see you again. I go, see me again? When did we meet? She lives in Fort Collins. She said, in 1970, you helped me get my car out of a ditch. In 1970, can you guys do the math real quickly?
You weren't even sober. No wonder you don't remember.
48 years ago, I helped her pull her car out of a ditch at Leaning Tower Pizza, which is some goopy deal down at, I don't even remember. And she goes,
because you were drunk. Oh, sorry.
Mute her. So unbelievable.
That is so cute. How did she remember you, though?
I don't know. So then she goes, my sister's Angie Schmidt, and she lives down here, and she's an artist, and her and her husband live over on West Cliff. And I got this whole story. On the way to my AA meeting, I've got a full-blown interview for when this lady shows up here tonight that has got all kinds of medical maladies. She's in HempWorks. She's in 3 or 4 network marketing companies. She's coming down here to watch the Dr. Wallach meeting because something happened where I said something about her getting loose from fibromyalgia on some post where I wasn't pitching. It was just a conversation. Because if you guys will not pitch, and I know it's impossible for you to not be out there with your bottle of vitamins and minerals and throwing up on people, and that's insanity. Just create curiosity. This lady can barely move, and she's driving. I didn't even want her to come, I got to be honest with you, because I felt so sorry for her until I realized, because she's old, and she's all infirm and stuff like that, until it dawned on me she was a year younger than me. So, I couldn't believe it. But the pictures on Facebook of her and stuff like that, she looked old, and she's not on here. And I'm not going to tell you her name, but that is my age group. My age group, my friends, the people I went to high school with, the people that I grew up with, are all over 65 years old, and they are broken down because they're not taking the Dr. Wallach minerals, because they're not paying attention to this nutrition. They've got more things going on than you'll ever believe. They've got bad arms. They've got bad legs. They've got bad knees. They've got cancer. They've got arthritis. They're on 45 different prescription medications. They're listening to their doctors. They've all got 5 doctors, and it's just speeding with the emergency brake on. One doctor doesn't know what the other doctor's doing. And I post about that because I don't like polypharmacy. I don't like all these poor people getting all their savings taken away buying prescription medications that are just covering up the symptoms. So I talk about that, but I don't ever pitch. And this lady's chasing me down. And she'll be down here tonight. It's going to be very, very exciting. And I've known her for 48 years, apparently. That's a long time. That is a long time. And then she's telling me about all these people in my life. And yeah, I'd like to call her. I wish I would have gotten one of the phone numbers from one of my friends. Because I'll tell you, people that knew me from high school, if I were to call one of them, I'll never forget this guy named Rich Goyer. He lived in Delphi, Indiana. And I called up for him one time. I went to college with him. 25 years later, I called him up just to see if I could put together a family reunion of all of them. And the mother called and I go, can I talk to Rich? She said, who is this? I said, Tom Chenault. She said, there was a long pause. And then I go, is Rich there? She goes, yeah, he's here. I go, I'd like to talk to him. She says, well, I'm going to give you his number. And I go, I'm going to give him your number. I said, I thought you said he was there. She said, I want to talk to him first. So I go, okay, well, that sounds weird, but would you please give him my number? I really want to talk to him, and I'm here. I want to talk to him right now. I've got some time. She said, fine, with a very curt attitude. And then about 5 minutes later, my phone rang, and it was Rich Goyer. And I said, Rich, why was your mother so weird? And he said, because she thought you needed bail money. I swear that's true, 100% true. Because how I showed up way back when I was crazy was that kind of guy. And she just assumed 20 years later that I was still a criminal and a convict and all those things that I really wasn't, but she thought I was headed that way. And that was her listening to me, which is not her fault. It's my fault that I never really showed her that I'd kind of turned my life around when I quit drinking. But the point I try to make to you guys is call everybody and interview them and ask them questions about their life, and don't pitch them. Find out what's going on, find out what you can do to serve them, and then you can come back to them and say, you know what, I've been thinking about you, Mineral Marge. You are an unbelievable woman. I love you with all of my heart. And you know what? I work with this guy named Dr. Wallach, and he's one of the most famous naturopathic doctors on the planet. And I'm telling you what, that cat of yours didn't look healthy when I saw your cat. It was just over your head on your couch on your table. And I don't know if that cat was on all of your screens, but Mineral Marge's cat was there. And the fact that that cat was sitting right on the literal shoulder of Mineral Marge tells me she loves that cat as much as she loves herself. And I've got a comment on that, unmute her. I've got a comment on that cat because that's what's popping Mineral Marge's eyes open at 2 o'clock in the morning. Am I wrong or am I right?
I love the cat.
And if I could do something to make your cat feel better, would you love that?
Yes, I would.
And if I had a product that was going to make that cat live past the 9 lives it's already got, you'd be saying, I'll take it.
Absolutely.
So you guys get that? Not a sales pitch, not anything else. I haven't told her what it is. I might have an idea for her. That's all I said. And we're instantly related because I spoke about something that she loves more than air in her lungs, which is that. Every one of you can do that. And you're dropping people right off where they want to be. The name of the game is you're talking to everybody. Everybody you can think of, you're talking to. And you're looking to drop people where they want to be. But your ultimate goal is to try to find those 5 leaders. That's your ultimate goal. You want to find a Ginny Schuster. You want to find a Denise Dunlap. You want to find a Marianne Niehaus. You want to find a James Earl Moore. You want to find a Peggy Gleason. I just went across a row of names. That's what you want to do. You want to find somebody that's got a big dream, that have tried many, many vehicles. They've never had a mentor like you. They never feel like they were forgotten about. They feel like there's something bigger than life. That's how you make it in this business. I can tell you the people I've enrolled in this business. I can tell you almost all of them. I can tell you who's decided to play it big. And the people that don't want to play it big, I love them. I love them for where they are. But one thing I will not do is leave anybody behind. If you're up to playing this game, I'm going to meet you halfway no matter what. Because I know one thing about multi-level marketing. It is a leader. A leader is few and far between. And somebody that wants to be a leader that is ignored by their upline, ignored by their people, that's not fair. That's not fair to the universe. It's not fair to that person. I look at little Kelsey and Dylan Britton. I love those two, and Dustin Britton. I love those 2 kids. I love their daughters. I love the way that they decided to absolutely be mentored by their mom and dad and taking that up one level and being mentored by obviously Corey Gold and saying, you know what, I'm not settling. I am going to be bigger. And I can't do the business the way those old people like Tom do it. I've got to be out there on social media. I've got to be on Instagram. I've got to do all those things. But basically what I'm doing is bringing all those people into my funnel. And as they come into my funnel, by attracting them, not promoting them, by attracting them, the minute they get right here, and they've told me that they want to make some extra money, that's when I go into that coffee shop interview. That's when I drive the conversation hard to figure out if they're one of my 5. Because I know if those 5 people make $5,000 a month each that I personally enrolled, that I'm going to be making about 25 grand myself. That's how you have to think. This is a business. You need a business plan, and you need to execute that business plan. That's all I do all day long. I interview people to drop them off right where they want to be. You guys all know Chris Ebersberg. He's brand new. He's bad to the bone good. I don't see him on here. I tell you, yeah, there he is. He's not got his camera on. This guy was my upline in New Skin. This guy wants to play this game at a level you can't believe. He's executing a business plan bigger than me. There he is. And why am I partnering with him? Because he's got bigger goals for him than I have for me. And he wants to be as big as a breadbasket in longevity. I've got to give him the time to execute his business plan and not get in his way. The most important thing Tom can do for Chris Ebersberg, I promise you, is stay out of his way. I've got to love him. I've got to completely, I don't even think mentor him because he's so much better than me. All I've got to do is he's got to know that my eyes are popping open at 2 o'clock in the morning thinking about the problems of him and his beautiful wife, Sylvia, because they've got the skills. Right, Chris?
We do. And I appreciate your support, Tom. And don't underestimate your skills. I really look up to you and need a lot of your advice. I haven't been in the field for 10 years, so you've got a perspective that I don't have. So I do desperately need all the input from you as I can have. But thank you for acknowledging that.
No, I love you, man. You're the greatest. And I look at Cheryl Morley, my upline on here. And Cheryl Morley's gift is unbelievable. Unmute her, please. Because Cheryl Morley has probably forgotten more about multi-level marketing than I'm ever going to know. She and I have been together in this business for a very, very long time. And one thing that Cheryl Morley doesn't do is try to impart her wisdom upon me. She has spoken. She's spoken at GoPro. She has rubbed shoulders with the greatest in the business. She's rubbing shoulders right now with Sheena, who is a huge, huge person in Mary Kay, now with us. This woman is a beast. Cheryl Morley knows so much, but Cheryl Morley knows one thing that's very, very important, and that's not to give me advice because she knows my ego is so big, I can't hear it. So what she does is she's this cute little mouse that thinks like a cheese and pats me on the head all the time. This is Tom, you're doing so great. You're the smartest man I've ever met. You are the best thing since sliced bread. Just work, 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 work. And you know what I do? That. And you know what she gets? Rich. She knows that that's what I need. I don't need coaching. I don't need this. I don't need that. I just need her to pat me on the head, say, what can I do for you, Tom? And she does this. Is that right, Cheryl, or not?
That's absolutely right. And, you know, it's so interesting, Tom, because you're such a force of nature that it's not hard to do that, right? But I really do think it's important that whoever is in your group, you know, find out what they do need, right? So if they need a lot of support, if they need a lot of help, then that's what you need to be in their life. But if it's just like, you know what, leave me alone, I'm going at it, you know, that's fine too. And Tom's taught me this too over the last 20 years. But really stay in touch with your leaders, no matter what. And I always, you know, I always thought, well, Tom doesn't need anything from me. You know, what can I do for Tom? But you know what? Call, give him a call, say hi, how you doing? Love you, thank you, whatever it is, and really build that that connection. And that has made like a huge difference in my life, right? So I just think, you know, Tom, I think you're fantastic, and I think that that it's really been like so. Longevity to me is like a family, and every person that I work with, every person that I get to see and talk to, it's all really a family, and that's probably what I love most about longevity.
That's awesome. And you know, and Cheryl and Paul are good at so many things I'm not. I've learned so much from Paul Croto, learned so much from Cheryl, a lot about humility from Cheryl and Paul, but I'll tell you, even though it doesn't seem like it, but at the end of the day, she's the perfect upline for me. And I want to be the perfect upline for you guys. I know Deb Hall knows more about network marketing than I'm ever going to know. I can call her on the phone. I can talk about this woman that she loves named Sandy Moreland. I can support her 50 different ways to Tuesday. I can do that and not ever get in her way because she knows where she's going and all I do is pat her on the head. And then you've got Jen Norland. Unmute her, please. Jen is literally a scientist, an engineer. She is a great woman. And all I said to Jen was get up and step up to the plate and swing the bat and hope the ball hits your bat. So what did she do? She gets on Facebook, she got up, she got to bat, and she swung the bat. And lo and behold, the ball accidentally hit her bat. And the next thing that she knows is this woman is in the game. And she doesn't even have any idea what to do with that woman. So she called me on the phone, said, I want you to help me. I said, you go back and interview that woman. She went back and interviewed the woman and told me all kinds of stuff about her that was unbelievable. And then at the preordained time, she got on the phone with the woman. She did a powerful introduction to the woman for me. Then she did a powerful introduction of me to the woman. And then she turned me loose. And it was magic, wasn't it, Jen?
Yeah, it was. Absolutely. It was amazing.
And who do you think did a tremendous job there?
Everybody.
Yeah. And
I think
normally
we
I say,
all did.
Tom. Yeah, and what I was trying to get you to say was, Tom, you did a great job. And
Tom, you're amazing. You're absolutely amazing. You did a great job.
but the reason I wanted you to say that was because I didn't do a great job. What I did was I took your coffee shop interview and I used that on that woman. So I sold her exactly what you told her she wanted to buy, what she told you she wanted to buy. So as a result of that conversation, you guys, because she did such a great job, all I did was speak into that woman's listening, and that woman was literally crying to the point I knew somebody that was able to touch her heart in the city she lived in. I mentioned this woman's name, and this prospect of Jen's almost had a heart attack because this woman that I mentioned was a good friend of mine, and actually was a good friend of this prospect of Jen's. And all of a sudden, trust, community, relationships were all present, and that woman will come in Jen's business. And Jerry Aitken, you're the greatest. You're out there in Indianapolis. You're a pro golfer caddy. You're an aficionado of cars and pro sports. There's nobody out there that could master this coffee shop interview and bring three-way calls like you could and should. But every one of you, Kate Carpenter, same deal. We interviewed you. There's not a person on here. Jenna Goodajohn, I was talking to her today. She lives in, she works in a cubicle full of about 500 people that are hair care and skin care professionals. And I just told her to go in there and start interviewing and then call me up and turn me loose, and I will light those people up. But this is all this is the coffee shop interview. It's all contact mapping. It's all taking the conversation to the next level with people. And several of you are saying, Tom, what about contact mapping? And I go, you know, whether it's Jenny Schuster or Esther, I said the same thing. What do you do for a living? Well, I teach people contact mapping. Really, what does that even mean? I've never heard of contact mapping. And then you go into a conversation about that, and you start explaining to those people they'll never lose a lead or a contact again. All of a sudden, they're telling you their life story, and you've actually contact mapped them as an example of what you do. Then you've got them in the system. You've found out what's going on with them, and you follow them up. That might be your prospecting tool, the contact mapping app, and your knowledge of contact mapping, and the fact that you are a contact mapping professional. Because a contact mapping professional in my life is me. I am interested, not interesting. I care more about your heart than I care about your head. I care more about what's going on with you than I care about what's going on with me. And I get that across to people, and people will literally walk across coals for me. That's what I want for you. What am I doing here? Yeah. Jen, Michael Clarkson, Jen, you did a very good job too. Jen did it all. I didn't do anything, you guys. I thought I got that across. It was 100% because of her interview that the conversation went great. Does that make sense to you guys? That's where it resides. That's where it's at. So tonight, you guys, you've got to drive people to Dr. Wallach in the seminar. Think about that. You could have your own party tonight. You could have your own Dr. Wallach home meeting tonight. All you've got to do is get on that web, that thing called Doc Wallach on the go or whatever it's called, pop that up, and start bringing people over to watch the Dr. Wallach deal. We're going to do it tonight. That lady's coming down that I've known from 1970. She's not coming for the business opportunity meeting. She might be a prospect for the business. I highly doubt it. But she's in 3 or 4 network marketing companies. She might as well be with us. And maybe she hasn't had that mentor that can take her to the next level. But I'm going to tell you, she's going to walk down. She's going to walk in the door. She's going to be in the mousetrap. We're going to have vitamins. We're going to have minerals here. We're going to have TV. It's going to be on the big screen, thanks to the massive intellect of James Earl Moore. It is going to be fantastic because I said so. I want you to think from there. And when you're around resigned, negative people, I want to talk about that for a second. Don't let them steal your vim and your vigor. Don't let them steal it. Because when you're around negative people, I want you to think about this a little bit. What do they gain by being resigned and negative and trying to draw you into that conversation? Misery loves company. And if they were all that happy, they wouldn't have time to try to make you miserable. So think about the friends that you hang around with in the coffee shop every day and what goes on. And think about if they're trying to celebrate the fact that you're doing something that you've never, ever dreamt of doing in your life, or if they're trying to rain on your parade all the time because it just won't work. Well, I'll tell you, let me define just won't work for you. What happens if you join Longevity? If you work on it for a year and you never make a nickel, what happens? And you've made all these friends, you've done all this personal development, you've got your health under control, you've got your mental health under control, and you still didn't make a nickel. Because the statistic says that in network marketing, most people don't make money. But you made all those friends. You got out of your negative circumstance. You became a better personality. You became a better friend. You became a better husband. You became a better wife. You became a better son. You became a better mother. You became a better father. You became a better daughter. I think I covered them all. What was the downside of that? What would you rather be doing? Sitting around with all the other miserable people talking about how miserable the world is because of this politician or that politician, or this person on TMZ or that person on TMZ? Get out there and make your own life your best life. That's all I'm begging you to do. In this business, the cost of entry is so low to be able to go change lives. The cost of contact mapping is so low to be able to go change lives. Why don't you decide today that you're going to go change some lives? Because if you decide that, and you go out there and you swing that bat, you might actually just do that. And there is no greater feeling for Tom Chenault than looking across at Lorene Williamson and Marianne Niehaus and Scott Pardulis, who was a dead man walking, and his wife Juliet, who was married to a dead man walking. And I go across the board, I think about James Earl Moore, and I think about Devin and Dylan Suggs, and I think about the people whose lives I've personally touched in this business. And I am most proud of that. More proud of that than the money. More proud of that than anything else. Every one of you are thinking about where you can make a difference. And it's not throwing a dime in the collection box at the church. It's absolutely going out, being a stand for the greatness of another human being and getting them there from here. And if your tacky, resigned friends think that what I just said was hocus pocus, no problem at all. They don't get to hang out with you anymore. because you got to be around people that are making you better, that are making you bigger, that are making you bolder, because there is so much resignation, cynicism, and despair out there. We need you to change that. So, good. Oh, that's good, honey. Absolutely. You're right. Thank you, honey. Do you want to speak to that a little bit? I'll be right back. I got to flip my tooth again.
No, you don't either. No, you don't. No, I think that was very well stated. It's, I think that who you become in the process of this journey is so worth it. And, every day is different. Every day can be, you can have one day that's a complete challenge, and you can have another day that is absolutely lights your heart on fire, and you go, this is why I'm doing it, and it's those days that pull you through the challenging days. And, it's like life, but gosh, isn't it great being able to choose who you do life with? And, a lot of people out there, they feel like they don't have a choice. They do have a choice, but they feel like they don't have a choice. And, who is that? That is not Cheryl.
Say hi. Say hi.
Hi.
What, were you in the pool?
Yeah.
No, sir. It's too cold out.
No, it's not.
It's not. This is Angelica. This is Cheryl's beautiful daughter, who is so talented, smart, and sings like a bird. That's the thing that I'm most jealous about, Angelica.
Yes.
So you were swimming?
Yeah, the pool's heated. It's at 82 degrees, right? Yeah, 82 degrees.
Good Lord, that's warmer than my bathtub. You are so lucky. Was Justice swimming with you?
Yeah.
Wow. You have the best mom ever, right?
Yeah.
I got to hang out with her. Wait, is it spring break yet?
No, not yet.
Next week?
Yeah, no. It starts in April.
April 14th.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. It's spring break right now in Colorado.
That does sound fun.
You're the cutest, Angelica.
Thank you.
Aren't you proud of your mom?
Yeah.
Look at that cool. If you just,
Hey, can I say something real quick?
I just want a tour of her house. Yeah, go ahead, Marion.
Well, because I remember when Cheryl was talking about the swimming pool, right? And because she's traveling and going to all these meetings, and we're talking about, getting buy-in from our family. And so she was like, look, I got to go. You guys want the pool. I got to go. Right. And so they helped, and they said, okay, Mom, you need to go to another meeting because we need to get our pool built. Right. Exactly.
Did you do that? Did you say that, Angelica? Mom, you can go to work if we can build a pool.
Oh, okay. So my mom came in my room one day and she said,
What the heck do you have on your head, you little monkey? What is that?
It's a towel.
You went swimming. The pool is 82 degrees, Tom.
But why would you wear a towel on your head?
Because to keep my hair in.
It's a girl thing.
That is ridiculous.
Keep going on the story, because I want to
Okay,
Mom came in the room.
Anyways, my mom came in my room and I said, Mom, well, I really want a pool. And she said, okay, well, do you want a horse or a pool? And I said, well, and then my mom said, well, I want a pool. Okay, so then she said, I have to go to one more meeting in order to get the money for the pool.
Oh, what did you say? You said no.
Yeah, first I said no because I wanted a horse. Anyway, so then I said, okay, fine. You can go to the meeting and then we'll get the pool. So she went to the meeting and we got the pool.
So do you believe, hey, wait a second now, do you believe that hard work equals money?
No, not all the time.
Okay, good. Do you believe that your mother works hard?
Yes, very hard.
Okay, good. And where do you think she gets her money?
From longevity.
That's right. So that's, what's that?
I tell her, Mom, you make money just by sitting on the couch.
Well, that's
See?
Yeah.
She already knows the beauty of residual income.
Angelica, I hope when you say that, she's holding a picture of me.
Couch money. Oh, Kelsey, that's funny. Kelsey just said couch money. That's
Amen
right.
to that. Well, you're a beautiful, beautiful girl, Justice. Or are you Justice or Angelica?
I'm Angelica.
Okay, good. Well, you look like a boy with that towel on your head.
She does not.
She does.
I'll kick him in the shins, Angelica.
Have you started getting pimples yet?
No.
They're coming.
no, they're not. Say no. I take the EFA and the 90.
That's right.
All right. All right, we're done with you. See ya.
Say bye.
Bye.
How cute is that? You ever seen more self-esteem in a girl in your life? All right, this book.
Sarah Slaughter.
This is the 4-year career. Put me back up. This is the 4-year career anniversary edition by Richard Brooke. And you see the camera, you see that it says 4-year career anniversary edition. So I want to read you something. It's a tremendous book, but I'm going to read you something. Scott and Juliet Fardulis, Windsor, Colorado. Social skills are the magic sauce. In a little over 4 years, Scott and Juliet went from near bankruptcy and battling health challenges to skyrocketing their business with 200,000 members and 7-figure monthly sales in 17 countries. Scott and Juliet joined Youngevity in 2011 after losing their car to repossession and their home to foreclosure, all while Scott's physical health was in crisis. Sound like any of you? Their story began as college sweethearts who married after graduation, dreaming of a life where they could spend more time together than apart. Scott pursued a career in multiple entrepreneurial endeavors, and Juliet was a substitute teacher and freelance journalist, ultimately choosing to stay home with their 3 young children. All the stars seemed to be aligned until their financial world collapsed and Scott's health challenges began. At an all-time low, existing with unbearable pain, he resorted to prescription painkillers just to cope. The next step was a scheduled invasive surgery he did not want to undergo. Provincially, Scott was introduced to a man at a coffee shop who empathized, offering what money couldn't buy. That was hope. Anything sensible. Willing to do anything sensible, the couple faithfully took the natural products he recommended and were amazed when after a few weeks, Scott's health pain vanished, never to return. Full of gratitude after having renewed existence free of pain, Scott and Juliet were convinced this company was the answer to their financial woes. Wasting no time at all, they immediately drove headfirst into personal and professional development, leveraging and learning the law of attraction. Social skills are the magic sauce to attracting and influencing people, says Scott. It's also important to ask the right questions and listen for an opportunity to serve them, adds Juliet. Together, they've discovered there's no shortage of individuals willing to explore possibilities that lead to a more purposeful life. Humility and vulnerability have gone a long way in developing their team chemistry and culture, stemming from over 300 personal enrollments in the first 4 years to 7-figure monthly sales with 200,000 members in 17 countries. Network marketing has provided Scott and Juliet Fardulis the time, health, and resources to cherish every moment of marriage, parenthood, friendship, world travel, financial generosity, and to build their dream home on a private lake with breathtaking views of the Rocky Mountains, located in a world-renowned northern Colorado golf course community. Others first is how they live. And once you meet them, you're always going to remember the way they made you feel. That's Scott and Juliet right there. So you guys want to buy this book as a giveaway if you have time, if you're so inclined. It's the 4-year career. I guess you got to buy it at, I have no idea. Oh, I got an endorser. Yeah. So anyway, make a long story short, that's Scott and Juliet. So now you're going to do me a favor. You are going to text Scott and Juliet, which is right there in the comments, a text message and say, guess what? I just saw your article in the 4-year career, and I just want to tell you I love you, or something down that line in your own words. So all of you, text Scott and Juliet and say something nice and watch them swallow their cigar, because all we want to do is have somebody recognize us, have somebody remember us, have somebody catch us doing something right, have somebody proud of us, have something like that. That's why Kelsey Breton, the Boss Babes deal, everything like this, you guys, I want you to think about that. What can you do today to make somebody's life a little better? Who can you text something to? Something to Steve Wallach, something to Dave Brisky, something to Sean Brown, something to Alex Tice. Always, every week, I will tell you, Lauren Castronovo, can I just give her an example? Lauren's fine. Hang on a second. Lauren. Now, I have no reason to do this with Lauren Castronovo. She's corporate. There's no reason for me to send her a text message every week on without fail. She gets a text message. Most of the time, they're blue. They aren't responded to because she can't figure out why Tom Chenault every week sends her a text message. Either can Luke Tefuri, either can Dave Brisky, either can Steve Wallach, either can Michelle Wallach, either can Johnny Taylor. But you know what? They're the people that drive the machine. They're the ones that are up above me moving this thing forward. All I did in the contact mapping app is every Monday morning, these people's name roll up. As I'm going to AA, I'm at Red Frog Coffee, drinking a cup of coffee, and I go through that list of all those corporate people, and I touch base with them, and then I set the follow-up for another week. So next Monday, they're getting another call. It never has dawned on any of them that they're on a rotation in the contact mapping app. On Sundays, it's all my AA people, my Alcoholics Anonymous people. All of them get a note from me every Sunday asking if they're still sober, how they're doing, the whole shot. It's never dawned on any of them that it's on a weekly rotation through the app. All they know is Tom Chenault cares at them. They can't believe I called them. I'm going to be calling Mineral Marge about that cat for the rest of my life because that's all I've seen for the last hour. But I'm going to tell you guys all something. What you most love about me is what I remember about you. And that's every human being out there. Stop with your agendas. Love like crazy, then love more. Interview till you can drop 5 people off. That's all I'm working with every one of you. If I can help you get to those 5, help you jump in the foxhole with those 5, help you be the best you that you can possibly be, everything changes at a level you won't believe. That's my story. I am so totally sticking to it. It's unbelievable. Anybody got any questions? Anybody got anything like that they want to talk about? Somebody just gave me a FaceTime call. Was that one of you nuts? Okay, so Ariaza, edification, good call. Edification, edification, edification. Edification, invitation. That's all it is. What am I going to invite you to next? I'm inviting you to Dr. Wallach tonight. I want you to all go to Leadership Mastery with Scott and Juliet. I want you all to go to GoPro. All you graduates, call me on the phone. I'll make you a special deal for a ticket. I want you there, Peggy Gleason. Denise is speaking. I want that. I mean, I want you guys to be great network marketers. I think more than you want to be great network marketers. And this is not an accident. It is an absolute process. It's a culture. It's a system. It is skills tied to your unique you personality. I don't even like cats. I will never be Mineral Marge, but I will, and I do like cats. That was facetious, but I was trying to prove a point. I don't have to love cats to love Marge. I don't have to love cats to be related to Marge. All I have to do is when I see Marge, ask about her cat. And that's it. That's the end of the story. Is that cool enough? Let's see what else. Driving 2 hours. You're coming up. Oh, good. Saturday, Colleen Richter's coming. Unbelievable. Elaborate. Yeah. Yeah. So, and Chris just hit the nail on the head. Leveraging me. And Saturday, when I go to North Carolina this weekend, leverage me. And you guys will notice, Peggy, has Sean Brown admitted he's not coming yet? So I called Sean Brown. I said, don't go. You don't need to go to North Carolina. If I'm there, you don't need to be there. And I
didn't hear from him directly, but he indicated that the bundles were being delivered overnight, but it sounded like he wasn't coming, but I didn't get it confirmed.
I hope he's not, and here's why. Because here's my stand on that. Anytime you've got more than one 5-star in a room, you've got one too many. I believe that we need to stop this whole thing of guess who all is coming. If it's a regional event, it's a whole different story. But these meetings, it's crazy it's overkill. I'm flying across the country and you say, okay, great, Tom, we've got, it's really great that you flew all the way across the United States. And I appreciate you spending your couple of days and doing it, but we got 9 other speakers, so you've got 5 minutes. No. Instead, have 9 different meetings and have that 5-star or that ambassador, whoever it is that really has what you want, spend a lot of time pouring into you and do it 9 different times versus one big weekend where people don't spend, if I don't have enough content, Peggy, that's on me. If I walk in there and you guys are looking at me going, that's the most boring time I've ever spent. I was with Ruth Ellen Sanchez and her beautiful husband, Jesus, and we had a great lunch after a meeting, and it wasn't, there was plenty of content. I'm not gonna under-deliver for you. I'm gonna bring more than is humanly possible. Same thing down in San Antonio. If those little kids down there ever invite me back after the last time I went down there and they had me in an attic and we had a meeting with about 14 teenagers on a bed. It was unbelievable.
We are already thinking about the next time you're coming after Saturday.
Yeah, that's how you do it. And you build, Emily's going too. Good. Have no idea how far it is. Okay, so I'm flying into Raleigh. So I got to figure that out. I haven't bought a ticket yet. That's pretty funny. But I'll be there. You can count on it. So what do I know when I'm going to get there? No. I'm one of those guys that flies just in time. I fly at the last minute and I buy one-way tickets. Why? Because I just don't like being ordered around. I don't like being bossed around. It drives my beautiful bride crazy, but it's the best. So who else has anything before we get out of here? Anybody got anything they want me to do? Anything you want me to do, anything you want me to do, anything you want me to, golly nuts. My phone is so completely empty of people I could bring into the business. It's frightening. I was looking for somebody I could call. Okay, we're going to call this Chris Cherry, the lady from 1970, because she's coming tonight, but she's a prospect, and we're going to get it. I'm going to drive it down a little farther for you guys. So I'm going to tell her the come on, pick up.
Your call has been forwarded to an auto.
Okay, she'll see me call. I almost called James. Chris, that would have been funny. So I gave this guy some product for his softball game. You pick up the phone and you dial it. That's all you do. Stop. I mean, Denise will tell you this and Adrian will tell you this. There is no distance for Tom Chenault between thinking of you and hitting send. If I think about you, your phone's going to probably ring.
Hi, you've reached Robert.
And that is like at 2 o'clock in the morning because I have no filter. And then people go, well, why are you calling me at 2 o'clock in the morning? I go, that's not the big question. The big question is why are you answering the phone? Because I'm telling you, if you don't want to talk to me, don't answer the phone. But I am not afraid to call anybody at any time. And that's, I swing the bat every time, just like Jen did. And I just hope that at some point somebody's going to hit my bat. That ball's going to hit my bat. But the more I hone that swinging of the bat, the better my chances are of the ball hitting it. And that's all I want you to think about. How many times are you swinging the bat? How many times on this call did you bring your leaders to this call? Because you didn't. Probably you didn't swing the bat. And you're saying to your leaders, gosh, I wish you would have been on here. And then you have to look in the mirror and say, am I done holding this bat? You have to say, did I swing the bat? No, I didn't call them and get them on. That's why they're not here. I didn't make it important. That's why they're not here. Where's Paul Croto? He's not here. Why? It's because he didn't get on. No, it's because you didn't call him, Cheryl. And that's got nothing, I use you as an example because you're my upline and it's got nothing to do with me. He's cross-lined to me. But the point I make, you got to swing the bat. Every one of us have to swing that bat. So how many times are you going to swing the bat tonight? Go think about somebody. What's that website called again? Go.
Which website?
The website for Dr. Wallach tonight. drwallachOnCall.com.
Yes.
Yeah, and Nancy Model, that's fine. You tell them you should turn your phone off. What are you doing worried about that? I'm an insomniac. And my problem is I've got so many connections now in the world that it's unbelievable. So it's unbelievable how many connections I've got. And they're in Australia, they're in Japan, they're in Asia, they're in Russia, they're in London. So there's not a time zone that I'm around that somebody's not sleeping. But there's also not a time zone I'm around that somebody's not awake. And my job is to figure out which people are awake and call them and not call the other people that are sleeping. So right now over in Australia, I've got my note on my list right now is Ken and Elaine Smith. Good people. They're mad at me. And they're mad at me for a good reason. So to that, I say what? What are you doing, Kenny boy?
Just sitting in front of my computer, just placing a couple and tidying up a couple of trades. We're just about moved in down here now. We've unpacked almost all the boxes. And what's my buddy up to?
I was just thinking fondly of you. I love you. I love your bride. It was great to see you when I was in Australia. What time is it?
What is it now? It's 9:31 here, so I just sort of was tidying up a little bit of stuff and just shooting a couple of messages off to friends of mine that have gone through a bit of hell and just letting them know they can call me anytime they like, and that's all good. And got a list of not opportunity seekers so much, but sort of people that have gone through some Facebook pages and stuff, and some stuff some people Randy sent me. So I'm just going to do a few hidey-ho calls and see if I can find some somewhat qualified people who are willing to have a crack, I guess.
Well, your internet connection is terrible, so don't call them like that. But here's the deal. The reason I'm calling is I just had Johnny Wimbrey, Mark Cassetta, Wayne Nugent, Matt Morris all on my radio show a couple of minutes ago. And I expected to see you pop on there. And I just want to let you know I love you with all my heart. And I was thinking about you.
Oh, well, there you go. I didn't know the buggers were on, I must admit. And I would have otherwise, because I'm going down this weekend to Melbourne to Momentum.
Got a baby.
Friday morning. First thing Friday morning.
Well, I'm glad you're making all that money, and I'm glad you're having fun, but I also want you to remember who saved your life, and it was not them. It was Dr. Joel Wallach. Never forget that.
Listen, that's a given. I mean, I haven't, you know, even daily now. I mean, I still talk to people who, you know, want to know what Dr. Wallach might say, and I, you know, so this is what people say, and I took the video, picked it up, and, you know, and that's what it's about. I mean, you know, I don't fall out of love real easy. I mean, no matter who tries to make it.
Including me. So here's what I want you to do. This is the reason I called. I know you took a shot at me. Here's the deal.
Hey, you know what? Listen, Tom, I'm not judging you. What I'm saying to you is, mate, if you end up in the world and well, you better I'll be back.
I know you are. I know we go long and we go deep. Here's my last tell you. And I can't figure out the time zones. At 5 o'clock Mountain and at 8 o'clock Mountain tonight, Wallach is doing an updated Zoom on his Dead Doctors Don't Lie lecture. So I'm going to send you the text, and you have to register before and get some people to watch, but it's called DocWallachOnCall.com. DocWallachOnCall.com. You should register and get some people on there, because if there's anybody on this planet that needs to remember his message, my dear friend, with the heart and the other stuff going on, it's you. So make sure you go watch that with your wife, will you please?
Well, two things before I go, real quick, for you. I know you're a busy man, but I've got Kev and a couple of people here for a longevity meeting this morning.
Good.
Right, so that's just...
That's number one. Oh, I know it. I mean, I'm not worried about you. I love you, man. I want you to play. I'm here to help you.
These guys are coming for a meeting because they want to catch up anyway, because we are friends, and they said, can we do a meeting at the same time? I said, yeah. I've even got you got my projector and everything. You got access to everything, so it's all good. And come and we'll do it at our home, because rather than doing it at a coffee shop, and I got good coffee. So yeah, so no, that's that just to let you know that's what that's what we're here to keep doing. And the other thing, I was in on Friday. No, on Friday. What am I saying? Friday.
Okay, so here's the deal. I ran him out of longevity by being arrogant. I ran that guy out a couple of years ago, and he joined another company, but I never stopped loving him. And I put too much pressure on him, and he cracked and he left. And I learned a lesson from that, but I never stopped loving him. And he's in that other company and he's doing okay, but he's not doing great. And he realizes that it isn't that important to work, and that he's coming back to longevity one of these days. But I never stopped loving him. And I'm going to tell you, people go through different seasons all the time. You go through different seasons. There's days when you feel like doing longevity, and there's days you don't. There's days you feel like doing the contact mapping, and there's days you don't. There's days you feel like doing 2 interviews, and there's days you don't. And that's every living human being. And if you run them off, you lost. If you love them because you just recognize that where they are is where they are, not necessarily where you want them, but where God has them, all of a sudden it all shifts. And that's why that guy's talking to me and we're laughing about it. But I got to bring him back. I got to constantly always have him remember that Dr. Wallach saved his life. He'll be back.
Now.
So that, hello, Em. So.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Good. What's going on?
Nothing much. I'm just hanging out with my dog.
What? Okay. What kind of dog is it?
It's a beagle. Say hi, Julie. I'm kidding.
I have actually become
my beagle.
I have actually become a dog lover in the last 2 months, which I never thought I would. I had 50 dogs when I was young. It was traumatic. So I love you guys with all of my heart. It has been a great, great show. And I'm back. If there's anything I need to do to help you out, anything like that, go start inviting people tonight. If you're in Longmont, come by. Right now, as you can, I can show you. All of a sudden, friends of mine are beginning to show up. It's called Hamburger Tuesday. So they're all moseying in. because they love hamburgers. They won't come to the meeting. They don't care about Dr. Wallach, but these guys love Five Guys, and I love them. So that's the best news in the world. I would rather have a hamburger for these non-network marketing misfit friends of mine than anything in the world, because it's not about the money. It's about the relationships that you have. And all of us need to remember that more and more and more. So right now, Peggy Gleason, every one of you, go find the people that you love. Little Emily, go hug that dog and your mother and your dad, Keith, and everybody have a great night. Thanks for letting me be a part of it. Bye-bye. Oh, really?
See you
Saturday. Love you. God bless everybody. Have a wonderful night.
Have an awesome night, everybody.
Go have a little silver, Marianne.
Thank you.
Bye.